Hey everybody, it's Miss Jewell here. I just want y'all to know that I miss everybody so much, and I hope I get to see everybody soon, and I'm so excited that I get to read for y'all today. So the book I chose is Mr. Wolf's Pancakes by Jane Fernley. One day, Mr. Wolf was feeling hungry. He decided to make some pancakes. Yum, yum, he said, licking his lips at the thought of a big pile of fresh, delicious pancakes. Mr. Wolf had never made pancakes before, so he took his big recipe book down off the shelf and looked inside. But wolves can't read very well, and Mr. Wolf had trouble understanding it. So he went to get some help from his neighbors. Look, he has the book upside down. Silly Mr. Wolf. He called on Chicken Little, who lived next door. Can you please help me read this? He asked. No, said Chicken Little, slamming the door in Mr. Wolf's face. Bang! Oh dear, sighed Mr. Wolf. He sat down, slowly read the book, and worked out what he needed, all by himself. Mr. Wolf looked in his cupboard for the ingredients, but he couldn't find anything he needed. I'll go to the store, he decided, and he settled down to write a list. But wolves aren't very good at writing, so Mr. Wolf called on Wee Willie Winkle. You're very clever, said Mr. Wolf. Can you help me write my shopping list, please? No, said Wee Willie Winkle. Go away. He slammed his door. Bang! There's no need to be like that, said Mr. Wolf quietly. Mr. Wolf sat down and worked very hard at his writing until he had made his shopping list all by himself. Now he needed to count his money to make sure he had enough. But wolves aren't very good at counting, so he went to the gingerbread man for some help. Can you help me count my money, please? He asked politely. No, I'm too busy to bother with you, said the gingerbread man, slamming his door. Bang! So poor Mr. Wolf had to sit down and count his money. It took him a long time, and he had to check it 3 times before it was right. That's good that he checked it, though. But he did it, all by himself. Mr. Wolf needed a basket to carry his groceries, so he called on Little Red Riding Hood. May I please borrow your basket? He asked very nicely. I'm not lending my basket to you, said Little Red Riding Hood. Get out of here. So Mr. Wolf set off to the store without a basket. I'll manage, he said. Look, he's at Old Mother Hubbard's General Store. Mr. Wolf went to the store. There's Mr. Wolf going to the store with his list. No basket, though. He looked at his list, remembered what he needed, counted out his money, and carried the eggs, milk, and flour home, all by himself. Now it was time to make the pancakes, but wolves aren't very good at cooking. So Mr. Wolf called on the 3 little pigs. Can you please help me cook my pancakes? I'll share them with you, he said kindly. Forget about it, chorused the pigs, slamming their doors. Bang, bang, bang. Mr. Wolf felt sad because nobody wanted to help him. Poor Mr. Wolf. Mr. Wolf went home and started to make the pancakes all by himself. Soon there was a huge pile of delicious pancakes on the table, all ready for eating. Now, as Mr. Wolf had been making his pancakes, a lovely smell had drifted out of the kitchen. All his neighbors could smell it, and it made them feel very hungry. They wanted some pancakes too. They decided to try their luck. Mmm. Who can make a prediction? Do you predict that Mr. Wolf will let his neighbors eat the pancakes that he worked so hard for? And they all slam their door in his face? That's a good prediction. Maybe you could also make an inference and decide and think, maybe you could infer how Mr. Wolf felt about his neighbors. Maybe you could infer why his neighbors treated him that way. So they knocked on Mr. Wolf's door. "Give us some of your pancakes," said the rude bunch. "Why should I give any to you?" said Mr. Wolf. "Not one of you would help me." "We'll help you eat them," replied Mr. Wolf's neighbors nastily. "Anyway, we're not going away until you give us some." Well, that's not very nice. Mr. Wolf thought very hard for a moment. There was only one decent thing to do. "Oh, very well then," he sighed. "You had better come in." Oh, who can make a prediction on what's going to happen next? I have an idea. Mr. Wolf opened the door wide, and whoosh! His greedy neighbors rudely pushed him aside and dashed down the hall. Mr. Wolf shook his head, shrugged his shoulders, followed them into the kitchen, and when they were all in, what's gonna happen? Mr. Wolf gobbled them up, snippety snappity. That was the end of his unhelpful neighbors. And then, with his bulging stomach still not full, Mr. Wolf sat down to eat his pile of pancakes. And he did it all by himself. Well, there was nobody else around. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed that book. I know I loved reading it to y'all, and I hope I get to see everybody soon. I hope you talked about what your predictions might have been and if they were correct predictions or incorrect and how you know they were right or wrong. And if your inferences made sense, if you used your background knowledge, what you already know, and your picture or your context clues. Okay, so I hope everyone's having a great time. I hope everyone's staying safe and healthy and sane. And can't wait to see y'all soon. Mwah. Love all my ravens.